First of all, I want to congratulate Isai, well-deserved award. And then I wanted to go into a little bit about sort of how I met him and the story of how he became the most influential, most important figure in the game of poker in terms of growing the game. I met him in Toronto. We used to play together. I was a teenager at the time in these little private clubs and things like that. And we played these little tournaments. And I remember how inquisitive he was and how much he wanted to learn how the game worked and understand it on a deeper level. And I specifically still remember a hand. I mean, what was it, 30 years ago, where he moved all in with a pair of threes and I knocked him out with a pair of kings. And he was like vehement about asking me if I strategically, did he make the right play with the threes and all this sort of stuff. And I didn't know much about him outside of just, the sort of poker interactions. I knew he came from sort of the IBM world and whatnot. And lo and behold, he started a company, PokerStars, and he grew that company into a mammoth, quite clearly. And he did so with an approach where he always focused on what was best for the game itself, right? Profits and all those things came secondarily, but first and foremost is making the players happy, making sure it was an environment where people, enjoyed playing. And, he obviously did a great job. He took care of all the people that he worked with, myself and him. I ended up working for him, with him, at the company in terms of endorsing it and promoting the brand and all those types of things. And it was one of the most easy to work with relationships I've ever had. He ran, a $1 billion company, a little bit like sort of a mom and pop, joint in the terms of how he dealt with the people that he worked with, and was always generous. And there were opportunities, I think, along the way too, where he could have taken different paths that may have been a little bit detrimental to the game itself. And they might have been more profitable, but he chose the players. He chose what was best for the game at all costs. Yeah. And, I think that's one of the reasons that he's become one of the most well-respected people in the industry. For so many young kids who became online professionals and made a living, during that period, they owe a lot of thanks. And it's rare, really rare in our industry for somebody to have the longevity that he did and be beloved universally. Maybe not by his competitors at the time, the guys over at Full Tilt, because he was just better at the game than they were. So, what he created, what he built, changed the game of poker forever. Obviously, we know the story of Chris Moneymaker, who in 2003, I believe it was, he qualified on Stars for $40, won the main event, and that just grew the game infinitely. And then, of course, I think what Isai understood too was how beneficial having a robust tournament schedule would be and how fun that would be. And he was a visionary in that regard and always willing and open to think of new ideas and implementing them if he thought they made sense, for the player first. And really, he built this company strictly by saying, all right, what will make our customers happy, right? And what, obviously, nobody likes to be gouged and things like that. And he was always vehemently against the idea of taking advantage. So hats off to Isai Scheinberg. If for anybody looking to get into an industry where they want to, grow a company, following his model of customer first, I can't imagine is the wrong way to go. I want to thank him personally. Obviously, it was very influential in my life and, helping me promote the game as well. And I wish I could be there, but obviously I'm here in Las Vegas, wishing you all the best from across the pond.